What's up, everybody? It's your girl Olympia D, and of course this month, the month of October, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So today we have with us Miss Tiffany Sanders. She's a two-time breast cancer survivor.
2 times. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Tell me your story. How did you find out that you had breast cancer?
I was diagnosed first in 2011, September 6th actually, because those are dates you never forget. And then the second time was October 26, 2016. So I'm newly out of the process. The first time I found the lump, I went to the doctor. The doctor was like, "Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. You're so young," because I was 34 at the time. And I insisted that he looked at it because I have breast cancer on both my mom and my dad's side of the family. And so I've had 2 aunts that passed away, one on each side. And so I insisted on it, and sure enough, it was breast cancer. Of course, I went in and I had no idea that what it was, and I didn't know what was going on. They sent me in for the mammogram, and then they said, "Hey, can I do an ultrasound?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? Is insurance paying for it? Sure, you can do it." And then they're like, "Can I do a biopsy?" Of course, I had no idea what a biopsy was, but I know now. And yeah, a week later, they told me that I had stage 3 breast cancer the first time.
Oh, wow.
And then the second time I had my mammogram, my annual mammogram, and they found it really early. It was stage 1. So that's how I found out with both times.
Okay, so talk to me about the biopsy, because some people may not know. What does that entail?
So basically they took some type of machine. I don't know all the details, but they went inside my skin and they took a piece of the tissue out where the lump was, or the area was, and they sent it out for testing and to see if it was breast cancer or not.
Okay. Before they moved and they did anything else, they wanted to be sure that it was
Right.
breast cancer. So once they found out that it was stage 3?
It was stage 3 the first time, stage 1 the second time.
So how did that affect your lifestyle?
Oh my goodness. Well, I was telling somebody I'm all the women that's independent, and so I was always running and going. I'm a professional, so I'm always working 2 jobs, always was doing something, traveling. So it slowed me down a lot. It definitely slowed me down a lot. The first time, and what you should know is I had triple negative breast cancer. So there are 15 different types of breast cancer from what I'm told. And triple negative is actually the most aggressive. So they were trying to get me in like really quickly once they found out what type it was. So my lifestyle changed in that aspect. I was going to doctor's appointments pretty much every week. They had to check my bones to make sure they were okay. They did something to check my EKG, to check my heart,
Right.
MRIs, all kind of appointments. Even at 34, I went to a fertility specialist because I still hadn't had children, and I still don't. But and they had to check all of that too. So it just slowed me down. It sped me up, but it slowed me down. It sped me up in the aspect of my medical life, but it slowed me down in my regular social life. So
okay, now most women that I've heard that have the triple negative gene mutation, they opt to have mastectomies, double mastectomies. Did you go through that?
The first time, no. I did a lumpectomy. I actually did a study through one of the local hospitals, Novant. They did a study and I did extra chemotherapy. So I did 16 rounds of chemotherapy the first time. Then I had the lump removed. And I will tell you after that the study and after the chemo, the cancer was gone out of my body, but they still wanted to remove the area.
Okay.
And then I did radiation therapy. So 5 years, 5 years is the mark that everybody's like, yay, you did it. No more cancer. Well, the month after my 5-month anniversary of being diagnosed, the first time, I was diagnosed again the second time. This time I did opt to have a bilateral mastectomy.
Okay.
Yes, because my doctors told me that my breasts were busy. And so I agreed and got rid of them.
How has that affected you as a woman?
Oh my gosh, let's talk about how breast cancer affects you as a woman. Well, the first time, never thought I was gonna die. Never thought I was gonna die. Never thought about dying. But what I did cry about was my hair being taken away, the idea that I may not be able to have children, the idea of them removing my breast. So it affected me the first time more so. This time I made up in my mind. I told myself if I had to go through it again, I would definitely get a bilateral mastectomy. And so it really didn't bother me too much. The first time around though, I was like crying and depressed and all of that.
I'm sure. What advice would you give another woman who may be going through the same thing that you're going through, or they might just say, hey, you know, something doesn't feel right with my breast.
Right. I would tell them, you know your body better than anybody. Just like the doctor told me, hey, I wouldn't worry about it. I think you know your body more than anybody else. So definitely advocate for yourself. Make sure you're getting checked out. Definitely go to those yearly appointments. Some people don't like going to the doctor. I believe in them. I go to the doctor for everything. I always joke I have like several different doctors now. So yeah, I would recommend that they are aware of their bodies, and if they feel something that's out of sorts, make sure they get it checked out.
And if you feel anything that's out of sorts, and no matter the age, I think that's the biggest thing, because you found out when you were 34.
Yes, first time 34.
Wow. And so, ladies, we just want to make sure that we advocate for everyone. Do your monthly breast exams.
Yes.
You can do that at home. But if you find something that seems unusual or something that seems out of place, go follow up with your doctor. Tell them about it. And don't just take the brush off, because sometimes they think, oh, you're not old enough. And I myself have been to the doctor to have a lump examined. Of course, they keep telling me we've did the ultrasounds and everything else, but they keep telling me Olympia is nothing. But I am going to continue to keep an eye out on that, because you never know, it could develop into something and it just could be nothing at all.
Good for you.
I just want to say thank you for sharing your story and being courageous enough to say, hey, this has happened to me and I want to help someone else. And tell me about some of the work that you do in the community.
As far as breast cancers, well, I'm doing this. I've done a couple of things. This year, I swore that I was not doing anything breast cancer awareness related. But because sometimes October can be hard. I don't think people realize how hard it can be for a breast cancer survivor. We have lots of, you know, there are lots of triggers. You see all the pink everywhere and all the walks and all this kind of stuff. And then you feel guilty about the people that didn't survive, but you survived, and you're like, well, you know, why did I survive and they didn't? So it's a lot of different emotional things that goes along with it. So this kind of fell in my lap and I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll do it. And then it just keeps coming on. But I did just speak with a group of young ladies with Sigma Gamma Rho, some of the teenagers there, and provided them with feedback and told them my story, and actually talked to them about doing self-exams on themselves, because I did meet a young lady at one point when I did the hair walk a couple years ago. That was an event for breast cancer awareness, but she was 20 something, and she had gotten some type of cancer. It wasn't breast, but she had gotten some kind of cancer. So just it's not discriminatory when it comes to age. So that's just something. But I've done walks in the past. I talk to whomever I can about it. I actually stopped somebody in the grocery store last night. She might see me, and I was like, hey, are you a survivor? Hey, survivor. So yes, her name was Nanette, so shout out to Nanette. But I actually stopped somebody. So anybody that I can talk to, anybody who's willing to listen to my story. I did meet with D. Renee all day, so I met with her and did a segment with her. But anybody who's willing to listen, I tell anybody in my circle, outside my circle. I use Facebook as a platform. So I tell all of my people on Facebook, make sure you're getting checked out and things like that. So.
All right, so how can people follow you so they can check out your story and all the good things that you're doing? Yes,
so my Facebook is a little bit, no, I'm real like private with Facebook, but they can find me on Instagram. And my Instagram name is pink_ribbon_2011. And if they ask to follow, actually I'll just make it public, but it's pink_ribbon_2011. So that's where they can find me at.
All right, this is Miss Tiffany Sanders, two-time breast cancer survivor. Ladies, always, 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 always make sure you do your self-examinations each and every month. And if you find something unusual, go talk to your doctor about it. But we just want to make sure that everyone has that information. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
No problem.
And we're going to come back a little bit later, and we're going to have some more details about breast cancer awareness, because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm Olympia D with Old School 105.3.